Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing another tying video this week, and it's a streamer pattern. It's an articulated streamer actually, called the Chubbyhead. I'm going to talk to you more at the end of the video on how I come up with this pattern, where I found it at, and a little bit of more details on that. But I want to get right into tying it here because it's a little bit of a long video. So here you're going to see a picture of the material list, picture of the fly, and then the material list and how to tie it. Okay, here you see the Chubbyhead articulated streamer in vise. Really cool pattern. Let's get into tying it. We're going to start off by tying the tail. For the tail, we're going to use an articulated fish spine. This is a 20 millimeter, and we're just going to put that in our vise there. And we're going to start out with some 140 brown thread. This is rusty brown, but whatever color. Anything dark here is fine. And we're just going to cover that fish shank up. Next, for the tail, we're going to use two feathers. We're going to use Grizzly Marabou. One is tan and one is burnt orange. And I'm going to put one on the top and one on the bottom. So what I like to do is just grab the fluff on the back here, strip some of the fluff off. I just want to tie in the tips. I'm going to pinch all them feathers together, and I want it to be about the length of that shank is where I'm going to set it down on top of this hook. And then just tie it down and tie it back there to the back. Try to get it going straight off the top and tear it off or cut it off, either one. Then I'm going to flip this upside down and I'm going to tie the tan one on the bottom side. Do the same thing, peel that fluff off and then tie that down, get that the same length on the bottom side. I'm just going to tie that right on what's now the top, but is the bottom of the hook shank. And that's going to give us a nice two-tone tail here. Cover that up and flip it back up to the right side. Now, the next part we're going to put on is some dubbing. And for the dubbing, I'm using some Dave Whitlock's Red Squirrel Nymph Thorax with a little bit of Ice Dub Olive Brown. And what I'm going to do is make a dubbing loop, and I'm going to lay it down on my table. I'm going to lay two strips of dubbing down. First, I'm going to lay down that Red Squirrel Nymph Thorax in a strip about a 1/2 inch wide and about 2 inches long, and then I'm going to cover it up. And you can see here, you can see I got a nice long strip of it. Going to make a dubbing loop like I always do, and then put that in the middle. On top of that Thorax Nymph dub, I'm going to put some of that olive brown ice dub, and we're just going to put that in my dubbing twister and give it a good spin. So spin that up, let it spin there, and then I'm going to take and brush it out so it's nice and buggy. You could do it without that ice dub because there is some ice dub in that nymph abdomen, or sorry, nymph thorax. But I just like to give it just a little bit extra. And then we're just going to wrap this up the hook, nice side by side wraps. Keep pulling all my fibers back as I go up. This is going to give us a nice darker colored tail, but the reason I like to add the extra ice dub into it is because it will blend in nice with the front end of this minnow here in a second. So get that up to the eye, and we're going to tie it off, cut off the extra. And I can set that dubbing that I didn't use there aside. I can use it on my next one. And then we're just going to whip finish this head off right here. Now, a lot of times I tie in stages. I'll tie, 6 of these at a time or something like that. So I'm going to tie 6 of these tails out and then do the front end of it. Cut that off, and then I'm just going to take and brush, tease these fibers out a little bit, make it nice and buggy back there on the back. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to tie this onto our main hook. And for the main hook, I'm using a size 6 Firehole 718. So we're just going to put that in our vise there. Put that thread back on. We're going to make this an articulated fly. So to do that, I'm going to use some Senyo intruder wire. And just this is the thin. I'm just going to start it out on the bottom. Wrap it up there. And what I'm going to do is this tag end, I'm going to get it back about to the end of the eye and then just twist it over. That way it's not going to pull out. I can pull as hard as I want and it's not going to pull out there. But I want to keep this intruder wire down on the bottom side of the hook on my side here. Reason being, I'm going to put the tail on. When I put this tail on, the articulated shank has that flat eye. That's why I like the articulated shank maybe better than cutting the hook off. But you can definitely do it with a regular hook and cut it off. But I want to tie it on the side but on the bottom and then flip this over and bring it up on the same side on the top. And it'll help this ride true. So I want the orange side on the top, as you can see, the orange feather I want on top. And we're just going to tie that down. Get it on the other side here. You can see I'm keeping the two intruder wires running side by side, but it makes a nice loop on the hook. You can see there, it's going to make it nice and true. So this piece will ride the right way. So get this all tied down. Leave enough loop there that this has lots of room to wiggle around at the back there, as you can see. I don't want a big loop, but enough that it has room to move around. And then so I got these Dr. Slick scissors. These are great scissors. I love them. The thing I like about them, you can see here in the very, very back of it that there's a little hole that's great for cutting wires in. So I just stick, when I'm using my intruder wire, stick it back in that hole, pops them right off. So tie that down then, your short piece of wire. Now that intruder wire is not going anywhere. Now we're going to start tying the rest of this body. The next piece we're going to use is a black barred rabbit strip. This is gold variant, and I'm going to cut a piece about, I don't know, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. And what I want to do is I want to measure it out where my fur, the back of my fur, comes just about to the back of the feathers. And then I'm going to sit it on top and see where that point is, and that's going to be my tie-in point. So I'm going to separate the fur you see there. You see how I'm doing it, picking it out there, and that's going to be my tie-in point right above the end of my wraps. I like to wet this just a hair to get them to pull out of the way so I can make a couple nice wraps. And I'm going to make nice tight wraps there. Trying not to trap any fibers down. Get about 3 good tight wraps and then come up underneath and you should be fine. Now I'm going to do another dubbing loop. This time I'm going to use some Stonefly Nymph Gills and from Whitlock's. And I'm going to put on top of that some UV Ice Dub Shrimp Pink. It's just a nice combination. Going to give it a little bit of an orange belly, but not too much. It's going to give it a whitish orange belly. And again, we're going to make a dubbing loop. Doing the same thing, stacking that minnow or nymph gills. Lay a strip of nymph gills about 1 inch or 2 long, inch wide or 1/2 inch wide, and then put some of the ice dub on top of it, as you can see there. And then we're just going to stick that in my dubbing loop and give it a good twist. And this is going to make the belly of our fly. Get this wrapped around my dubbing twister here. Again, give it a good twist there, and you can see when you twist it, it wraps the fibers up tight. So we're just going to take and brush them fibers out. Get it nice and buggy. And then we're going to wrap it forward. It's actually a pretty easy fly to tie. It looks great when it's done. It just takes a little bit of time to do it because there's quite a few steps to it. So you see there, it gives you a nice creamish orange, almost like a creamsicle color, and a nice natural color. So give about 3 or 4 wraps there, tie that off, get it out of the way, and then what I do is I just take my dubbing brush and brush down both sides to get this laying flat on top, and bring the belly down underneath on this fly. Then we're going to pull our hair up over the top, and we're going to trim back here, tie down. I do tie down an extra hair, as you're going to see here. I want it to be a little bit buggy on top, but there we go. Tie it down a little bit back behind the eye so you have some room to work there. And then we're going to trim this tag off, and then make a nice head here. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a collar on this fly. And for the collar, I'm going to go back to this black barred gold variant here, and I'm going to strip about, I don't know, about an inch of it, make about an inch of it stand up, as you see, like this, and then I'm going to put it in my clamp, and I'm going to clamp that inch long section, and I'm going to tie this into a dubbing loop now. If you watch a lot of my videos, you know I like to use dubbing loops on things. It makes nice collars and different things like that. So I do that quite a bit, and this one's no exception. Get my dubbing loop tool ready here before I put the material in. Oops. Flip my loop open, put my hair in. And then give that a nice twist. Getting twisted up, brush it out a little bit. And then palmer this on here. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to pull those fibers back with every turn to get a nice color on this fly. And then get that right up there behind that eye. So before you get to this part, you want to, when you cut your hide off on the top, you don't want to crowd the eye hair because you want to have room to get your head on here in a second. So save some room at your eye there. Okay, now I'm going to come back just a little bit because I want some thread to glue my head on here. So there you see, you could actually finish it off here and just make a nice epoxy head there if you want to. But I'm going to come in with one of the fish skull fish masks and put that on here to finish this fly off. It's just going to clean it up, make it look real nice. Oops, missed my knot. So the last thing we're going to put on is that fish skull fish mask. I'm going to tease all my fibers back here. I'm going to pre-fit this mask, make sure it goes on where I want it to, and it does, as you see there. So I'm going to take some super glue now, put 2 little drops. I like to put 1 on each side. Try not to get it on the hair. I try to get a little bit of a thread head here for this reason, because if you get it on the hair, it can be quite a mess. So put some super glue on there, slide that head into place. And then we're just going to glue our eyes on. A little drop on each side in the eye sockets. And then we'll pop our eyes down in there, and we're going to be all done with this fly. And there you see, very cool looking fly. Very natural colors, looks great, and lots of movement in the water with that articulation, so the fish are going to love it. Okay guys, hope you like that pattern. It's a very cool looking pattern, And it's a realistic kind of pattern too. You know, it's going to have lots of movement with that articulated tail. And where I got it from was from a fly tyer in South Africa named Alan Hobson. I'm going to get to fish with Alan next month, and we were talking about the trip a little bit, and I asked him to send me some of the flies that he fishes a lot over there. And this one just jumped out at me, and I thought, man, this is going to work back home too. So I had to try tying it. This is my Americanized twist on how he fishes it. It's a Chubbyhead Barb over there. Here you're going to see a picture of the way Alan ties it, and I just tried using what I have here to match it, and not knowing his material list, and I think I came pretty close on it. And it's going to be the way I want to fish it over here a little bit too. So anyways, guys, I really hope you like this pattern. I really like it a lot. I love the movement it has under the water, and it's going to be a great fish catcher. So give it a try, experiment with different colors, especially, you know, change the colors to make it, it's going to be a great bass fly too, I'm sure, because all the action and stuff it has. So maybe you want to do some olives or different things like that. Experiment and have fun. That's what fishing's all about. That's what fly tying's all about. You know, finding out what works best for you and having fun doing it. So have fun. If you need any of the materials to tie this fly, reach out to us at holsingersflyshop.com. And like I said, I'm going to start hopefully doing some trips to Africa here next year and following. And if you'd be interested in any information on that, reach out to me, or if you want me to tie any of these flies for you, reach out to me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. So thanks for watching and supporting our channel for all these years, guys. I have a lot of fun bringing it to you. And give us a like and subscribe if you didn't already. So thanks for watching. Until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Sean Holsinger.